Now we come to the consumer's equilibrium analysis. The first one we need to know about is the consumer's equilibrium, the cardinal utility approach for one commodity case, one commodity model where we are concerned with the consumption of one commodity and how or when the consumer will be in equilibrium. Now the equilibrium state of a commodity is mentioned or is referred as where the consumer is attaining its highest utility or the utility is maximized. Now before going into the theory, how we attain the equilibrium or how a consumer attains equilibrium, certain assumptions are there for the theory. Every theory has certain assumptions because there are so many variations in the normal consumer behavior. To establish a theory, you need to restrict some things. Otherwise, you cannot come to a particular conclusion. So the assumptions are the rational consumer is a rational consumer. Utility measured in terms of money. The commodity, the worthiness of a commodity, the utility of a commodity can be measured in terms of money. Okay? Means suppose what is the utility of the pen? You measure it in terms of, okay, it may be 20 rupees. The price should be 20 rupees. It is worth rupees 20. Something like that. So utility can be measured in terms of money. Law of DMU, the law of diminishing marginal utility operates. Okay. Utility of money remains constant. That means no change in the value of the money. No change in the value of money. Consumer's money income constant. The income of the consumer remains constant. And the price of the related goods remains constant. Means the substitute goods, complementary goods, all these goods remain constant. They do not change. So here, how or when the consumer attains equilibrium? The consumers, we are taking it with the help of a diagram where the quantity is measured along the horizontal axis and price and marginal utility, they are measured along the vertical axis. Okay. Now, a utility maximizing consumer will attain equilibrium. A utility maximizing consumer. The consumer, see, at every point of time in normal life, a consumer cannot attain utility, cannot attain maximum utility. He tries to attain maximum utility through different process, but theoretically, the consumer will attain the maximum utility or is said to be in equilibrium when the marginal utility derived from a commodity, the marginal utility derived for the commodity for one additional unit consumed. We know what is marginal utility. So when he or she purchases that much amount of quantity, he will purchase that much amount of the commodity where the marginal utility for the commodity or for the unit, for a particular unit, marginal utility will be equal to its price of the commodity, will be equal to the price of the commodity. So many units consumed. Suppose after consuming 4 units, it is seen, because see, for 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, as we go on increasing the consumption, the marginal utility is gradually decreasing. That we have already learned. The marginal utility is gradually decreasing. Now, going on, it may happen for 1 unit also. So, the number of units consumed where the marginal utility for those many units consumed means for the last unit consumed. For the last unit consumed, that is the marginal utility should be equal to its price, the price of the commodity. That's why we say a utility maximizing consumer will be in equilibrium when he or she purchases that much quantity of the commodity, when the marginal utility of the commodity and the price of the commodity equals. Okay, equalizes. So where Px equal to MUx, where price equal to the marginal utility. That if we put in diagram, now this is the marginal utility curve. We know the downward sloping marginal utility curve reaches 0 at a certain point when total utility was maximum and becomes negative. This is the marginal utility for the commodity X, marginal utility curve for the commodity X. Now the price of the commodity in the market is given, say P0. So the consumer will attain equilibrium, highest utility, maximum utility, where the price is equal to the marginal utility. The consumer will purchase those many units, OQ0, the consumer will purchase those many units of the commodity. Okay. So now see a case where price equal to MUX for the consumer to maximize utility. That is the theory or that is the conclusion. What happens if the price if the price is less than marginal utility, if the price is less, when the price is less, suppose your assumption, your anticipation that this pen is worth rupees 20, but you see in the market the price is rupees 10, so immediately you go for additional consumption. And as you consume more, suppose your assumption was your marginal utility from this pen was 20 and the market price is rupees 10. So you start purchasing more, you demand more, and as you start demanding more, as your quantity demand increases, this marginal utility starts decreasing and this 20 starts dropping and it reaches somewhere after certain units consumed, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. The more and more you consume, the more and more units of the commodity you consume, the marginal utility decreases, and at that point where price equals to marginal utility, it becomes 10 and this becomes also, it is already 10. So when this 10 and 10 matches, those many units are consumed for the consumer where he gets or where he receives or he attains highest or maximum utility. So this is the consumer behavior, or according to the consumer behavior, the utility approach, the cardinal utility approach for one commodity case. See, if the price is going down, see, follow here, if the price is going down here, so he has to increase consumption so that somewhere, if his price goes down here, so the consumer, to attain equilibrium, the price equal to MUX, to attain equilibrium, the quantity consumed will increase. The quantity consumed will increase. Okay. So at lower prices, if the price lowers, marginal utility also goes down. So if the price is high, the marginal utility has to go up. Then if the price is high somewhere here, then the marginal utility also has to go up. And for the marginal utility to go up, see the consumption level has to go down. The consumption level has to go down. So that's why if price is less than marginal utility, if price is less than marginal utility, okay, implies quantity demand will rise, and if price is greater than marginal utility, implies quantity demanded will fall. And therefore, you see here, the price equal to marginal utility is the condition for a one commodity case, is the condition for the consumer to be in equilibrium, and his equilibrium is said to be attained when he maximizes his utility. So please be very carefully, minutely watch, listen to the explanation, read the text and get the concept clear, the way the consumer's equilibrium is attained by the cardinal approach for a one commodity case.